This is what stops creative people from creating every single day. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bridget and here we talk about writing, we talk about representation and how you can make your writing process more fulfilling. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to stop procrastinating and how to just start writing your story. Because I know the blank page is very daunting and I want to give you guys some tips on how to vanquish that dragon, because that is the metaphor that I am going to be running with today. So yes, let's get going on taking down that dragon. Now, writing is not something most people can do at the drop of a hat. It is something that is so daunting, and famously writers sit there staring at a blank page and just like wanting to write, but it's just like burning into your mind. The blank page is like a dragon that is guarding your golden idea that is up in the tallest tower and you're trying to get to it, but it's literally like breathing fire at you. I'm going to take you through some mindset shifts that will help you get past the dragon and up to that tallest tower. These are going to be about the early stages of your story and really how you can build momentum in the early stages. This is not necessarily a fast track. It is really a method of how to streamline the early stages of your process and work through the methods that will work best for you, because the creative process is very individual. So some things might work for you and some things might not. It's just the way it goes. So take from this what you will. Okay, now let's dive in to the dragon analogy, or metaphor, whatever you want to call it. For the first mindset shift, I want you to take a long look at your dragon. Imagine that you have been put on this quest, or you've taken up a quest, because your creative project, nobody's telling you to do it in this case. So you have decided to go on this quest to go to this castle, take on this dragon. You have a picture of the dragon in your hands and you're looking at it being like, holy shit, how am I supposed to take down this dragon? You need to look at this picture and acknowledge what this dragon is in that moment. This dragon is the pressure you are putting on yourself. It is what the blank page is saying to you. When we look at a blank page, we are daunted by all the expectations. We are looking at perfectionism. We are looking at the fact that our first draft is not going to be the best draft. But we want so badly for it to be the best. This is what stops creative people from creating every single day. The idea that the thing you make has to be perfect right out of the gate. This block plagues every creative. I don't think anyone escapes it at any point in their career. Now, I wouldn't personally recommend just charging in blindly, so let's take a minute and move on to the next mindset. Now that you know what your dragon is, you need a game plan. You need the strategy of how you are going to either sneak your way past the dragon or take on the dragon. You need to figure out what you're up against. This is where plotting comes in. I want you to see plotting as the strategy section. It is really where you start to take the mystery out of your quest. It is where everything starts to feel more comfortable. You start to put some pieces together and really acknowledge what you are working with, the skills you're working with. You get to put together all the different elements and get prepared for what you are tackling. You can do this in any form. You can have a notebook, you can have a document. I've gone into Milanote and like made a whole like spreadsheet, but bottom line, you just need to figure out how to get that first step. You need to take the mystery out of the process and just start moving, because that is what takes the anxiety and the pressure off of your chest. And remember, nothing is going to be perfect here. When I was working on my first draft of, well, any project that I've been working on, I like to remember that nobody is going to read the first draft. The first draft is just for you. Nobody has to read it. I often either send people my second draft, or most likely I send them my third draft, because by the time I get to the third, I am starting to not really see what I need to fix. In the first two drafts, I know where the holes are. But by the third, I'm like, okay, I figured it out. But yeah, the earlier ones, they're gonna be pretty bad. One of my favorite ways of brainstorming, especially when I'm in the early stages, is using what if statements. Now, this is a list of questions and more so like proposals to yourself of what if this happens? What if this character is like this? And this allows your brain to take even more pressure off, because it's not a sure statement. It is a question. It's asking, maybe this could happen, but you're not committed to it yet. It's simply a question to your story. It's asking, will this fit? And if it doesn't, that's fine. I haven't committed to it yet. Okay, now you have formed your game plan and you are making your way into the castle. This part is where you literally come face to face with your dragon. It's not a picture anymore. You have it literally staring back at you. What do? I need you to take a moment. Take a deep breath and envision who you are writing this for. Now, this is a huge part of what I want you to remember. Your story is meant for someone. Now, this could be a story that you find entertaining. It could be a story that simply means a lot to you emotionally. But it could also be a story that you've always wanted to see. It could be a story that you see yourself in. I need you to tap into why you are writing this story. I know this seems like you're putting pressure back on yourself, but actually it is taking pressure off and putting in purpose. This is not a form of pressure. It is a form of self-love. It is really putting your heart into your story and saying, this is for me. This is why I want to do this. I'm not doing this for the approval of other people. I am doing this so that I feel good about what I created. This is also when you can think about what this could mean to other people. Not in a way of, again, putting more pressure on yourself, but in a way of service. In a sense of, if anyone sees this, they will feel seen. And this is where representation comes into it. What kind of story are you telling that you have wanted to see? This is the kind of connection that I love to utilize in my writing, and I encourage you guys to use it in yours. It is a kind of connection that is truly powerful. Channeling a kind of story that you want to see or have wanted to see for years is so important, because if you want to see it, rest assured other people will want to see it too. I know we hear that so much in the space of representation, but it is so true, and it is something that I really want you all to remember as you are going forward in your writing journey. With this in mind, I still want to drill into your head, don't put too much pressure on yourself, because your first draft can be so messy. You still have this in mind, but your writing, it ain't there yet. It's getting there. It is getting there, but you have to get the bad stuff out in order to get it out of the way and find the good stuff. It is polishing a diamond. It is chiseling marble to get to the statue. That is what writing is. You need to have the big slab of marble that looks like nothing. You have to have that in order to get to the work of art. I'm not sure where I found this quote, but I do find it very reassuring. It's that your first draft is for you, second draft is to make it make sense to you, and your third draft and onwards is to make it make sense to everybody else. I hope that helps to some degree to take the pressure off. Like, only worry about other people by the third draft. Let's get back to the dragon. Now, at this point, you are talking with your dragon. Your dragon is now a little friendly. It's kind of, you're trying to have a back and forth with it. Because your dragon never really goes away. I don't know about like famous authors or creators like, let's say like Neil Gaiman or George R.R. Martin. I don't know if they have like all these like, I don't know if they have these dragons of pressure. Maybe they're even more mean. I don't know. Maybe there's like way more, there's probably more pressure when you're really famous, but I don't know. We'd have to ask them. The trick here though is learning how to work with your dragon. I will not make a How to Train Your Dragon reference. But yes, you do have to work with your dragon in this metaphor. Talking to your dragon is really asking it what it's so afraid of. This pressure is very personal. And working through this part is kind of like therapy. It's a lot of self-work and saying, what is stopping me from writing? Is it imposter syndrome? Is it perfectionism? There is a lot of procrastination in writing, but a lot of it is those two. A lot of it is imposter syndrome or perfectionism, because there's so much expectation. There's so much pressure on us to make it perfect, because there's so much great art, so much great literature out there, but we can't get to it unless we deal with our dragons, unless we deal with this pressure and work past it, work with it in order to get up to that tower and get to that idea and get to that result. Now, plotting is one way of doing that. That might not work for you. Some people are pantsers, as the literary world puts it, where you just kind of throw everything down and see what works. I personally can't do that. I'm way too much of a planner to be a pantser, because I would just be like, I don't know what I'm doing. The amount of Pinterest boards, the amount of playlists, I need to know the whole vibe. I need to know everything before I start writing. But that is my personal preference. You might totally be a like throw things at the wall kind of writer, and that is totally cool. Do whatever works for you. This is simply the process of talking to your dragon and working together to make your way through the castle and then safely return home together. Because, as I said, the dragon doesn't go away. You simply find ways to work together. It becomes your little pet. It becomes this little reminder that there are expectations of you, but that's okay, because you'll work with it. You will make those great pieces of art And no matter what other people say or think about you, you'll still be here. And you'll be making great things no matter what. Pressure is a constant thing in creative circles, especially when you say you want to do it as a career. There is that inherent feeling that everything has to be perfect, but it never will be, especially if you never take that first step. No creative project is perfect, and that's okay. But you need to start moving, otherwise you never will make anything. And that is robbing yourself, that is robbing the world of your creations, and that is not okay. Don't do that. Don't do that. The act of creating is so important, so therapeutic, and will truly benefit you. Going up against that dragon is so worth it. And I know looking at that picture of that dragon is real scary, but once you get there, once you talk it out, talk to that dragon, it is so much easier and it'll all be so worth it. Okay, I just have a few parting words that I want you guys to remember. I want you to write them down. I want you to like plaster them on your walls and just, they're kind of like, let's have them as like creative affirmations. So I want you to close your eyes and just listen. Your story is needed. Your voice is completely unique. You will get to where you want to be creatively. Taking that first step may be scary, but it will be worth it. So get on your armor and go write something bad. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you to get past that blank page and take on that dragon. And let me know down in the comments what you guys are struggling with creatively, and if you want me to make any videos on those kind of topics, I will be very happy to. And I will catch you next week in my next video. Bye!